In this video, I want to show you two unique reports that we only find inside the analytics of Ezoic. So you cannot do this with Google Analytics or anything else for that matter. And we want to get to that in a second. But first, I want to give you an announcement from Ezoic that they have something coming up called Customer Week. It's from the 13th to the 17th September, and they have a lot of announcement and new stuff they want to announce throughout this week. So instead of dropping it all over the year, they instead bundle it up together in this 1 week, so we will have a lot of new features coming out from Ezoic. So keep an eye out on that. There's a link in the description where you can sign up to stay updated, and there's also a chance to win a backpack. So if you need a backpack, you can sign up for that as well. I think they're giving away 20 pretty cool backpacks. But now let's get to the reports. I've come to really love the analytics part of Ezoic because there's so many unique things that you can only do in there. So let's dive over to my computer screen now and I'll show you two reports that you just cannot miss out on if you are a blogger. The first report here is a way to look at the content on your site that's older than, let's say, 8 months, for example. So here I have enabled a segment here at the top to allow me to only look at content that's 8 months or older. And I'll show you in a second how to do that or how to create that segment. But let's see here how we get this. So you go to content out here, you go not all the way to content age as you would think. You go to pages and then you set the segment up here. You just click add segment and you can click these on and off here. And then here you can see it wasn't until November 1st that I had any articles on the site here on Sewing Machine Talk that were older than 8 months. It takes a long time to rank in Google, so it makes a lot of sense to focus on content that's above a certain amount of months old. Because if you look at content that you published like last week or last month, it doesn't really make sense because it hadn't had time to rank yet, right? So we want to focus on content when we look at how much traffic it's going to get after this period where it should bring in the traffic that it will eventually bring into your site. You can see here how many page views, and I just enabled the columns here for RPM, the revenue per 1,000 page views for this page here, and the total revenue that each article here brought in. So that's pretty cool, and let's take a look at how to set up the segment up here. So I'll click add segment here, and out here on these 3 little dots I can click and edit segment. And these steps here are very important. I played around with this for a long time and I had to contact Ezoic twice. So first here you want to go to content and only content out here, and remember to choose your site up here. In the drop down here you can choose which sites you want to look at, and it won't work, if I remember correctly, unless you choose just one site here. And then you have to go to this setting here, content age by month, and set it to larger than or equal to, and type in 8. And that's all you need to do. If you do anything else than that and you click save, it just won't work. So save and apply. So now you're able to focus on the content that had time to rank, and you can focus on metrics like the page RPM, the revenue per 1,000 page views, like how much money are you making per 1,000 page views with this page, and the total amount of revenue that this page is bringing to your wallet. So that's pretty cool. So the next one here is location-based revenue. So you'll be able to go into analytics here and go to audience, location, and you'll see a map up here, but more importantly, let me get myself out of the picture here. You can break down the revenue on your site per country, and that's very, very cool. And it's important that you understand the difference between American traffic, UK traffic, Indian traffic, South African traffic, and so on. And let's take a look at those right here. So you can see here per 1,000 visitors to our site, that's the EPMV, earning per 1,000 visitors. We are making around $26 for our American friends here on the site. And for the UK traffic, it's half. It's cut in half for the UK traffic. And that's kind of hard to wrap your head around. But that's just how it is. I mean, there's so much more advertisers bidding on your site from the States, and that's just how it is. I think we'll definitely see UK and Australia and some of the other countries start to ramp up and get closer to the US numbers, but we haven't seen that happen over the last couple of years. And if we find South Africa, that's almost half again. So that's down to $7 per 1,000 page views. And take a look at India here, less than $1 per 1,000 page views. I hate that fact. That's just how it is. So it doesn't really make sense to create a site entirely focusing on Indian traffic. Yeah. And you can find your country here and really just break it down. It's very, very cool. And it's very important to understand, because if you want some good overall average numbers with your site, you need to have a majority of US traffic. And that's also why the major ad networks such as AdFry will only take you on if you have mostly US traffic. You need at least 51% traffic from the US in order to advertise with AdFry. That's not the case with Ezoic here, obviously, and that's really cool. I like that they just take on every site. So the next one here is a funny one. You're actually able to break down your revenue and your traffic by weather. That's pretty funny. So let's take a look at this pie chart up here. You can see that's a huge unknown here. That's around 25% of the traffic. Then you can see clear sky. We have a good chunk there. Overcast clouds, broken clouds, scattered clouds, whatever. So they took some weather data and mixed it into this analytics here. And that's really cool. And if you go down here, you see again how I have sorted this by revenue and the earning per 1,000 page views per type of weather. And it's just kind of funny to look at. I don't know exactly how to use this, but there might be a use case for it. I haven't come up with it yet, but see here how we make more money in clear sky than overcast clouds. So reports like this are pretty funny, and there are just so many things you can dive into here with the Ezoic analytics. So really go in here and pull open all these tabs here to see what you can do, because there's so many things that you will not find in Google Analytics or in any of the other systems that you could use. I assume 95% of you guys are using Google Analytics, but I would advise you to take a good look in the analytics here inside Ezoic, because it's really cool. And something like looking at your content that's at least 8 months old is something that you just cannot do in Google Analytics. And also we cannot break revenue down and stuff like that. Having the whole revenue side of things, break every report down by revenue and earnings per article and so on, that's also something that you cannot do in Google Analytics. And that makes the analytics inside Ezoic here so much more valuable than your standard Google Analytics setup. So a few tips here that you need to remember whenever you're looking at reports in Ezoic here. Whenever you change the date interval up here, you click apply and nothing happens until you click run report, okay? You need to always click this run report button for some reason. That's just how they made it. So it's an extra step, and if you forget it, I forget that all the time. If you forget that, it won't update. And another tip, when you're looking at something like revenue per country, I would advise you to take a very, very long date interval. Don't look at the last 2 weeks or the last months or so on. Those are the default settings up here. Don't go into these here. Go into custom and take a year or two and just all the data you have, because the revenue per country, and also if you want to look at these funny weather reports and stuff, they don't differ that much from month to month. So you just need as much data as possible for it to make sense. Okay, next week I'll see you back in Denmark in my new office. I don't know if I'll be able to set up the office space before that, but I'll probably film at home in the living room until I get the office properly installed. See you guys. By the way, this cool Airstream trailer is not ours, it's not our camper, but it just looks so cool. It's just one that you can rent here at the campground that we're staying at. So I thought that would be a pretty cool backdrop. This over here is our rig. So this is our car, it's a Ford pulling machine. And this is our camper that we've been towing around Europe for the last couple of years. Not full time, of course, but I think 3 months last year, and a month in Tuscany before that, and a lot of traveling in Germany. And it's a little air tent that you just pump up. So in 10-15 minutes you have everything set up. And it works pretty well. Inside we completely renovated it. If you want to see what it looks like on the inside, I'll try and put a link here in the description to a video we did previously about that. Bye guys.